Welcome to Seat Time, everybody. Brian Pierce here. We're doing an interview with Destry Abbott. We have just tried to blow up the internet with all of our links and see if we can get more than 4 or 5 people to pay attention. I think it's going to be 2 or 3, but you know, we'll see how it goes. But the cool thing is Destry Abbott's a cool guy. Got to meet him at the ISDE this past year. Obviously, I'm a big fanboy. I've been following him for a long time, but thing is when you get to meet some of your off-road fantasy kind of, you know, gods, if you will, it's humbling and it's a big different experience. And now the fact that I'm talking to him on the internet probably makes it even more awkward. But still, Destry Abbott, how is your evening going tonight?
No, everything's good. You know, I'm just like you. You know, we had a good time in Germany. You know, it's nice to be back home and kind of on a routine, trying to figure out my program for 2013 right now.
Man. That is definitely a situation where we could talk, I think, for hours. And it seems like there's been a lot of people talking about kind of, not just your future, but obviously all the stuff that's been going on with Kawasaki and things like that. I don't know. I think my big question is not really what happened, oh my gosh, what's going on, but how do we fix it? Moving forward, not just how do you get a ride in the sense of that, but what do we need to do as an industry to bring in more money so that either more privateer, kind of larger Chad Reed-ish type teams can work off-road wise, or what do the big manufacturers need to do to change the situation so that, you know, they don't have to just slice the plate off the table?
No, you have that 100%. You hit it on the head. I mean, I think that's what we're all basically looking for. We're all trying to figure out what we need to do to keep this off-road industry going strong. I mean, you know, the late 90s, the 2000s, it's been good for the last 3-4 years. And then when it started, you know, shutting down, or not, I wouldn't say shutting down, but slowing down. And, you know, the majority of the people out there riding motorcycles or whatever are more like us. They're off-road riders. I consider myself, you know, your average, you know, I wouldn't say average racer, but your normal guy versus, you know, Chad Reed, Villapoto, Stewart, those guys who make millions, you know. I'm just getting by and doing what I love to do. So I've been fortunate over the years, but off-road racing, you know, we need to make that, you know, keep that strong, I guess. And we're all trying to figure out, I know I've been brainstorming a lot, trying to figure out what I want to do, what direction, and if it's helping the industry out on the off-road side, you know, promoting, whatever it can be. But I definitely don't want to see the off-road closing land, doing all these issues where it's getting tougher for us to race, you know, through the desert, through the woods, whatever it may be. So nobody knows for sure, but I'm always open for suggestions and whatever I can do to help too.
My friend Brian Elliott, we were doing an episode a couple weeks ago, and we had some good stuff going back and forth. It's just kind of going to be interesting how to move forward, I think. Like Wiley Watson from Verb Off-Road wrote an article kind of about the future of off-road and things like that, and I think that he came across it from a little bit more of a West Coast perspective. Granted, he is, you know, he's from California, he's a West Coast guy.
California boy,
but he's probably down the street from you. But and so not really bringing in the East Coast into the side of things. How do we get the amateur level more involved? I think that, you know, Supercross, motocross, you go to those races, you don't see amateur racing. You go to a professional off-road race, the amateur level is really what keeps those organizations completely running, helps do the pro purse, things like that. So how do you do that? I mean, you're the one talking to the fans, signing autographs, you know, I guess getting people involved. You know, people are amped when they get to meet you. So as a pro rider, or maybe as a potential future manager, I mean, how do you think you could get more, you know, amateurs and things like that involved in racing?
Right, and that's, I mean, you know, like you're East Coast guy, GCCs, Enduros, Hare Scrambles, or whatever, that's the big thing back there. And, you know, GCC gets 1,000 entries or whatever, and it's huge. And that's, like you say, the pro class is what, 15 guys or whatever. But the reason, you know, people are there to go see the pros and race with the pros because the A and Bs get to race with the pros. But, you know, it's like GCC, Works, Endurocross, or whatever. They're trying to make sure that the amateurs are the ones that are, you know, happy, you know, want to come to these races, continue to see whatever it is. So we just got to make sure the industry stays involved with those guys because that's what keeps everything alive. You know, it's not really about us as far as, you know, maybe X Games, Endurocross, where it's a pro show, or Supercross, motocross. But your average hare and hound, Big Six, whatever it is, races, it's, the amateurs, the novices, beginners, that's, if it wasn't for them, if those guys weren't showing up, the series wouldn't be there anyway. So it's trying to find a thing that'll meet them. And I don't know if it's contingencies. The entries really aren't that bad, but, I think the economy right now is just tough. And that's where, all my buddies who are construction or whatever own companies, money's tight, they're just going to do the local races instead of going to hit the works races or whatever it is. So we just got to figure out a way of making it, financially still able to do it, I guess.
Well, it's unfortunate that money's always going to be an issue. I'm not going to say that I have everything figured out, because I do stuff like this just to try to have fun and goof off, get away from worrying about the fact that you have to pay for bills and keep your family, from starving to death. But before we found out that Kawasaki was completely wiping off the off-road team, you were at the ISDE, you got 21st in the E2 class, you came in replacing an injured rider. Going into that, were you going, holy crap, I'm going to have a lot of fun, holy crap, I'm scared to death, I haven't been training? I mean, what was your mindset kind of going into that, since it was so last minute for you?
No, I actually went into it excited. I was, I raced Finland the year before, and I was really disappointed in my results there, but it rained just about every day but the sixth day, and I'm a West Coast guy, so rain really wasn't my style, and mud and stuff like that. We're going into Germany, all I've been doing is moto, and that's what, ISDE is trail riding and then sprint, like moto. You got to have a good motocross background, and I was excited. I went in there, and I felt like I was ready. The first day I did bad, but the rest of the days were actually pretty good until I think it was day 4 I hit my head pretty good. But overall, it was good. When it rains, it's definitely tough on me. There's no doubt. And the grass tracks were just killer,
Yeah.
Because, the place is gorgeous. The grass tracks were like a motocross track, It's redbud. It was just bitch and dirt. You're just carrying speed. And I love that. So that was a good. But, didn't do as well as I wanted. But I had a good time. I finished on a gold medal, and we brought the trophy team back up to 4th after having some bad luck.
Yeah, you guys
with
did a
Kurt
great job
and,
in the last moto with you, Charlie, and everybody. I mean, everybody pulled their weight on that one. It was fantastic.
Right,
Mr. Popular. Look
thought
at
it
you.
was fun.
Yeah. He's like, hey, you're talking to that weird guy on the internet. You should probably stop.
Don't hang up.
He gets everybody, man. He just calls them. It's so weird. But actually, he was probably telling you that Project Runway Allstars just started and that you should make sure you set your DVR. Because I hear that's your favorite show.
I'm just trying something. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. That's my calling.
Okay. One of the things I do that I thought was interesting, you just did your what was it? Your interview with Weege from Racer X, and it was a little, kind of back and forth, just words, nothing video-wise. They're just, stuck in the old age. But you said what you were going to possibly be doing in the future, or what you thought you might be doing. A little bit of racing like you were doing this year. But I thought one of the things that stuck with me was that you said you thought that you were kind of like family at Kawasaki, and that you had more of a little bit of longevity there, opposed to just being one of their off-road riders. And I'm not going to lie, I thought you were the off-road Imig. Like Imig he's at the Supercross, he's on their commercials, always talking about Kawasaki. They may be a great bike, they may not. I don't ride Kawasaki, but, he always is giving out that portrayal of Kawasaki. He is their spokesperson. And I really thought you were going to be that guy for a very long time. And so for you to not be that guy now, or that you don't know you will be soon, what do you do in that sense, like just going forward? I mean, particular to that, opposed to racing and everything else.
Yeah, no, you hit that perfect. I mean, I kind of assumed that was a position I was going to be going into, and I did that this year, and I worked with Imig this year for the 250F intro, the 450 intro, and a few other things, and yeah, we had a blast, and Jeff does an awesome job. I mean, he kills it, he does so good, and guy can still rip too. So,
yes.
I don't 100% know. I actually talked to him this week, the PR department. And there's potential. It's just nothing's guaranteed yet. And as far as the racing department, there's nothing there. So if anything at Kawi, it's going to have to be at the PR department, which, it's still cool. I mean, I want to stay with the company, but I have a few other things that might happen. And, I'm just weighing my options right now. But, definitely Kawasaki I thought was going to be my future. And, been there 15 years on the factory team. I just kind of assumed that I was going to go into that role. But times change, and management decides they want to go a different direction, which is their choice. So it's just a business decision. It's no hard feelings against it. they have to cut back somewhere, and it just happened to be our
Yeah.
department, but that's the way it is. But I have other things. I just moved into this new house that we're in now. I've been here like a month and a half, and we're building a 1,500 square foot building for like a gym
And
and
bunk beds
training
for
and an
guys like me to
apartment.
come stay, right? Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, that's what it is. It's really working with some riders, and they can come stay with me for a week and train, and I can show them the ropes on things we do, and from eating to, well, I have a sweet tooth, so maybe not
I have
eating
a
as
beer
much,
tooth,
but
so
yeah, trick or treat. I feel like crap today. All the kids can. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, there's different things, and I don't know. I want to stay in the industry no matter what. It's what I've done my whole life, and I know a lot of people, so I'm hoping some more doors will open, and definitely checking my options right
yeah.
now for sure.
Well, yeah, I completely agree in the sense that when I first turned out, I was like, or first heard out, I was upset. I was like, oh, I cannot believe Kawasaki did this. Just like you said, you responded. But you think about it,
Right.
it is a business. They're running a business. Where they have to put their money is where they think they're going to put their money so they can grow their money. And that's why I asked the question of where we go. Because, okay, bad news, blah, 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 put it behind us. How do we move forward and make better news? And that's good to hear. I
Right.
think you've got some good ideas. I just want to see where we can take them. I think you would be a fantastic team manager if one of the 2 or 3 people that are watching live right now might have some other people.
That's more than I thought I'd be watching. So
I know.
that's
Well,
no, the thing is like getting back to the Kawi thing. It's tough because especially on the West Coast, they haven't done as much on the East Coast supported. They do like rides and
Right.
stuff like that, A rides and stuff like that. But we've had the semi at the Endurocross and works, and for having them pull out is definitely going to be tough for the series itself, and that's going to be a tough thing because I know the factory support at the races is huge, and when the factory teams start pulling out, that's why we need to do whatever we can to keep these series alive, because it's what off-road racing is local races, West Coast, East Coast, whatever it is. But we definitely need to somehow find a good way and support that the best we can.
yeah. Well, I think I'm going to try to have as many races as I can in my backyard and get some pros to come out. I'm not going to have a big shop, unfortunately, for you to come stay at, but I do have a guest bedroom, so you probably actually get better better sleeping quarters there. But you are about to leave for Baja. So, okay, we talked to Kirk Caselli at the beginning of the year, and he had just kind of found out about Baja, that KTM was going to be doing the Baja team, and then a little bit after that, Cowie mentioned they were going to be doing it, so you're going to be doing it with the team. Well, you're going to be doing Baja with the team, let me rephrase that. And so, I mean, I don't know how Baja works. I don't know how any of this is going on. I mean, it's a desert race. Sure, stuff's going to get crazy. Y'all are going super, super fast. But tell us how your team's going to work, what your strategy is, to a degree. We don't want Kirk Caselli finding out. But still, give us off-roaders a little bit about this to really understand it more.
Yeah, I mean, Baja is a totally different aspect of racing than really anything in the States. It's in this year it goes from Ensenada down to La Paz, so it goes all the way down. It's 12
is that north to
miles.
south? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. It starts just past the border of San Diego up there, and it goes all the way to the bottom. And it's 1,200 miles, and we're figuring we'll be finishing at 4 in the morning, starting 6 in the morning the day before. So there's 4 of us racing on the team, and it's THR
Right.
Motorsports is what it is. It's not the factory Cowie team and stuff like that. But I rode with them at San Felipe, and we had some bad luck there. A couple guys crashed, but that's racing. But yeah, we're gonna have Robbie's gonna start, and he works on his section. I go there almost 2 weeks ahead of time, and literally in Baja you get to go pre-run your section. So you ride that section over and over, and there's virtual checkpoints that you have to hit. We're on GPS. Every bike has a GPS, so they make sure that you hit these sections. And
so it's not like a check-in like
so
you would see at a race maybe where they're like scanning your helmet. It's just that as long as your GPS goes through this quote-unquote virtual check-in. Okay.
Exactly. Virtually, and yeah, there's nothing there. You just know that checkpoint's there. So you got to be whatever it is, 50 feet. I'm not sure what it is, and there's a lot of them. So you just got to make sure you can find your own line to that next virtual checkpoint. So there's a lot of work that goes into trying to find good lines, because there's good lines out there. And I know KTM, Honda, and our team, pretty much the 3 elite teams, and all teams have great riders. So it's going to be an awesome battle for sure. But 20 hours of racing, whatever it is, anything can happen. And it's, you know, it's NASCAR. It's pit strategy. Where do you want to pit? Where do you want to change wheels? Where do you put the lights on for the bikes? So it's exciting, and you know, it's not really going down there racing 100% because Mexico, you know, they got little guys that are trying to sabotage the track, you know, booby traps,
Really?
trying to make it exciting for them. So when you're ripping across the desert, the next thing you know, you see 50 guys just sitting there, you know, you're back because there's only one reason there's 50 guys sitting here because they want to see
They've
something.
already gone through a 12-pack
So,
and they're ready to finish it off. It's like,
yeah, yeah, exactly. But it's exciting. You know, I did it a few years ago, and I'm excited this year and to see what happens.
man, I'm super excited for it. Do you know if we're going to be able to get any kind of coverage, like live coverage or maybe live results or anything like that while you guys are out there with Score?
Yeah, they have like live feed and stuff like that. And I don't know if the bikes themselves this year, some of the bikes and trucks and cars or whatever have like little, I don't know what they call it, a different kind of GPS where you can follow them on the internet and see where they're at, see their speed and stuff like that. But I don't know if all of our bikes will have that or not. Hopefully they will, because it'd be cooler to follow that way. You can see how each guy is. But yeah, I mean, there's some broadcasting. I don't know all the websites and stuff like that, but I know I follow it every year, and I'm looking forward to being part of it this year.
Know. I think it's going to be a darn good time. One of the things that I have to mention is, I'm trying to bring it up right now, is flyracing.com. I've got my sweet little hat on right now. They're one of the great supporters of Seat Time, and for some strange reason, Dale Spangler sent me this awesome hat. He sent me other cool things that you will see this weekend. I just had to say thank you very much to flyracing.com for supporting Seat Time. You should definitely check them out. Go support them. Thank you for their support. It is a great time. Okay, Destry, I have to say that you are a picture thief. You, when we were freaking in when we were in Germany, every time I would post up a picture within like 5 minutes, it was on your freaking, it was on like your blog or it was on Facebook or something. You were tweeting it, like. But the thing was, is you somehow like you were saving it through the source. So what's your strategy on this?
I don't really have a strategy. You know, I just kind of, I enjoy, you know, I have my regular Facebook page, and I got my fan Facebook page and Twitter, Instagram. You know, I enjoy kind of like, I enjoy following riders and doing all that stuff. And, you know, I've had a pretty good base where people follow me for some reason, but, you know, I enjoy, you know, experiencing the stuff and letting other people kind of see what's going on and behind the scenes and stuff like that. But no, there's nothing special for sure. I mean, I'm honestly your average guy. I mean, really, I'm not like, I don't think of myself as a cocky person. I'm pretty down to earth and laid back for sure.
I didn't think that you were cocky or by any means. No, it's just kind of funny. I personally don't care about stealing images on the internet. It's whatever. You know, you put it up there, it's a free game at that point, even though technically it's not, in my own mind, if you will. But, okay, so...
You give me crap.
Absolutely, Destry. Look at me. I'm the smallest guy on the internet. Why would I give anybody crap? No, I know. The past two enduro crosses, Destry, you have not made it to the main. Now, the thing is when we were looking at some of the footage that, you know, different organizations were getting after the fact, a lot of people were talking, oh, this track was really technical. It was really technical. You had to go look at your lines. You were falling between the rocks, falling between the logs, things like that. So that made me wonder, for you, I wanted to ask, have the past two races been that much more technical and that much more different than earlier in the year when you were making it to the main? Or is there something else just kind of like, it's just not there?
No, actually, this last one we just had was in Boise, and it was definitely the toughest one we've had in a long time. Like, the track there was like 5 obstacles that really became bottlenecks or whatever. And enduro cross, it's just a totally different type of racing that it's, you know, you get a lot of guys like Taylor Robert, who's running second in the series. You know, he missed the main event this weekend, and he's a phenomenal rider. It's just the field is so deep, and you have to have luck on your side. Like, this weekend in my heat, you know, I qualified well. I honestly felt like it's the best I've ridden in a while, but luck wasn't on my side. I got stuck in a second turn pile up, and then you go off to the semi, and they only take one. Yeah. And I just sat in the LCQ. I'm running for the lead, and I went down in a rock corner, and it's just that hard. I mean, the week before, I was definitely a little off. Sometimes you're just not riding as well, but endurocross is exciting because it changes. You know, guys are crashing. And this last weekend, there was a lot of crashing. Everybody was getting stuck. Patty goes down on the tires. You know, it's the way it was. It was old school endurocross, you know, where previous it's been kind of moto-ish. You know, there's a couple obstacles, but when it's like it was last weekend, where guys are getting stuck everywhere, it's not so much racing as much as just getting through the track, and it's more the trials guys, you know, step up or whatever. Where I like the racing, you know, I like the jump stuff or kind of more moto-y, you know, with some tough obstacles still. Like the amateurs go out there and yeah, it's tough, but we're actually not, we're doing pretty well over the obstacles, but we practice on them. So when you walk the track, it's like Supercross. You realize when you walk the track how huge those whoops are that those guys are skimming across, and it's the same thing. I mean, the logs that we're going over are gnarly, but when you're sitting in the stands or watching on TV, it doesn't look that bad. But anybody that's ridden endurocross knows it's super gnarly.
I hate throwing it out there more and more, but I did do a couple, the ones in Oklahoma, like in the sportsman class or whatnot, and it was the only thing that I remember is how much my forearms hurt. Like, it was just freaking ridiculous. Like, you just couldn't. I mean, yes, they had masseuses on the side. It was absolutely ridiculous, like what it did to your forearms. I don't know what was going on, but I mean, are you looking forward to Vegas? I mean, you know, we hear that there's always a pretty good after party at the Alligator Bar. So, are you planning on racing and, you know, doing that again?
Yeah, I've hit that Alligator Bar a few times, but no, the thing is that race is literally right after Baja 1000. So my section, you know, as soon as I get off the bike, I'm down, you know, 8 hours down in Mexico that I got to get to the border and drive up to Vegas.
Wow.
So I got pretty much a 14-hour drive as soon as I get off the bike to get to Vegas and then race that. So
you're going to be getting to Vegas ready to party.
Yeah. I'll compete for sure. But I've ridden all of them, and I really want to finish the year out and do the series next year with X Games. And then there's some European rounds of X Games I want to be part of. So definitely want to finish the year out strong, and it's going to be tough. So I'm looking forward to more, I guess, the Alligator Bar than probably the race.
Well, yeah, Brian Elliott and I were actually talking about that. We were trying to figure out a way for us to get to Vegas so that we could actually go to the Alligator Bar, just because of the fact that we've heard it's quite epic.
You should. They got amateur day. You can find.
I've been putting my winter coat on, and I've been dealing with trying to sit in front of the TV or in front of the computer more than I have been with riding lately. It's kind of pathetic. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not making excuses. I totally suck, but you know, it happens. So you mentioned X Games going to Europe. That was actually going to be one of my other questions, because I heard little rumors and stuff about kind of almost X Games World Series, in the sense that they're going to kind of travel and points are going to build up, and then you could kind of be the world champion. I don't know what the title is, but the world champion of, you know, the X Games sport, and then Endurocross was planning to be one of that. Obviously you mentioned it, so you've heard of it, but are you planning on being involved with that?
Yeah, I definitely want to be involved. And like I say, I mean, I don't know if anything's official or whatever. I really don't, so maybe I wasn't supposed to say anything. I have no idea. Maybe I just got myself in trouble there.
Would be the first time.
I do. Yeah, that is very true. So, but yeah, I do know there's supposed to be some rounds, and I don't know if they're going to be points rounds. I really don't know as far as that. But you know, the X Games here in LA, or over in LA, I'm in Arizona, but it is the most awesome thing to be part of. I mean, you feel like a superstar there. They treat the athletes like professional rock star supercross riders, I guess, because it's just a cool atmosphere. And to go over there and race in Europe and be part of the atmosphere, because as you know, like when you go to Europe, you know, they got the bells, they're so into it, and I love
without the blades on, just like whoa, like it was awesome.
It's the best. So you know, I want to go over there, and you know, I'm 40, but I want to be part of that. I feel really good still, honestly, and I want to go over there and experience that this next year, and you know, after that, who knows? But my main focus next year, if it's not any other racing, it's at least endurocross, and that's, you know, my main focus is just to at least do those and some other selective rounds.
Well, Destry, we have taken up about 30 minutes of your evening. We don't need to take it all up. I have had a phenomenal time talking to with you this evening. I'm trying to go through so much stuff right now. I'm figuring out this whole program, trying to be cool and run a TV show. It's the hardest thing ever. But if you don't think this is the worst time, seattime.co is the website where all of this stuff goes on. It's archived. You can find all the videos, all the interviews, and all the episodes that I do with different industry people throughout. the industry. So that's on the internet, seattime.co. If you want to find us on Facebook, facebook.com/seattime is where you could be our friend. Tell us stuff, tell us what you don't like, maybe what you don't like about me. That's fine too. If you want to tweet us real hard, we're on Twitter, seattime_co is where you can send those tweets to. We thank everybody for watching, and I had to say though, Destry Abbott, you're awesome, and I want to give you a moment to go ahead and talk about all of your little fan things, where people can find you and talk to you and tweet you real hard on the internet.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have my Twitter page. I try to post every now and then, more just updates, not my everyday life and whatever, but it's just Destry Abbott 450. And then my Instagram, which is just Destry Abbott. And then, of course, I have both Facebook pages. I don't even know what they're listed as, honestly. But if you put my name in there, I'm sure they'll both come up or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I'm actually going to give away an ISD set of gear here probably next week or whatever, which is signed by all the six of us on the trophy team. So yeah, so that'll be cool. I'll be giving that away next week and trying to figure out a cool trivia question. But no, dude, what you're doing is awesome. I think, the Skype thing, an interview this way is a way to go. I'd much rather sit here and watch than read. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't understand is that too, at the same time, like, people might bring this up at work or whatever, but, they're like, oh, I can't watch this. Well, it's easy to kind of play the video and maybe turn down it for 10 minutes and just kind of keep it going. I think we're entertaining people. Our audio is going to keep people entertained for, X amount of time anyway. Yeah. So, but yeah, I appreciate the your feedback, and hopefully go somewhere. I don't know. We'll see. Fly Racing has been talking to us. They've been helping out a lot this year, and so I think they're going to help out next year. We'll be talking to some more. Just like you said, you've been kind of trying to figure things out for 2013. Well, I have as well. So the cool thing is I'm going to be at the GNCC this weekend doing, if we get signal, I'm going to be doing their live webcast. So
yeah, that's going to be awesome. I'm pumped. I mean, both classes there. I mean, I follow that series. I'm an enthusiast, so I follow all the racing, and both series or both classes, it's coming down. It's going to be a good finish.
The XC1 and the XC2, both of those, or for bikes on Saturday anyway, both of those 1 point. I mean, we got Russell and Whibley, and then frickin' Thomas and Baylor. It's going to happen. So if you think you've seen me enthusiastic and you think you've seen me having a good time, you haven't. Pay attention and watch on Saturday, and you'll probably see a lot more of a good time. So, Destry Abbott, we thank you very much, kind sir. Don't turn away just yet, but remember, always enjoy a pint full of awesome. We'll see you guys on the internet soon, so thank you very much for watching.